B-Leaguers, it's your boy here, Dan, at the B-League Says, coming at you with another props episode. We're looking at Thursday night football. We're looking at Bills at Dolphins. But before we get to that, head on over to Underdog Fantasy, promo code GF2 for 100% matching deposit up to $250. Use that promo code GF2 and come play some pick and props. Again, it's your boy here, the Pick and Prop Show. It's Dan at the B-League Says. And we're going to get straight into it. We had a massive week of success. I couldn't have been more successful if I tried. And I didn't really. No, I did try, actually. I gave you like 2 weeks worth of props advice in one hit. We did really well. Clean sweep on the Thursday night football. Smashed the Sunday mornings and the Monday night football. We had an absolute massive week and absolutely tailed up. We were probably the only ones on Mark Andrews' downfall. No one believed us. And here we are. We were the only ones on it, and we absolutely smashed home with that. Mark Andrews rushing, Mahomes passing, we absolutely delivered. So we're going to hope to go 3 for 3 again this week. With the Bills at Dolphins now, both had a relatively mixed bag week last week. We're looking at the Bills. They had a very slow start against the Cardinals. Josh Allen's fumble. Maybe he's hurt his hand. Maybe he hasn't. The team was all over the place. And then they kind of just went, screw it, Josh Allen, it's all yours. And go from there. The Dolphins as well, they had a relatively slow start against the Jaguars. They started off a little bit behind the 8 ball, and again at halftime they kind of woke up and went, let's just go. And they did, and they ended up dicing them out. So we're going to look at 3 props for Thursday night football. We're going to start with pick number 1. We're going James Cook higher than 19.5 receiving yards. I feel like this is a good place for him to be. He's had a decent history versus AFC rivals in the air. In the 4 games Cook has he's played them, he snatched a healthy average of 3 for 26.5 against the Dolphins during the regular season. Look, last week's season at home as well against the Cardinals, you could say that maybe he filled in where we thought maybe Curtis Samuel might, those in and underneath routes. But no, it was really just him doing what he has done, going 3 for 32 in the air. But that's not the case, as last week tracks well with what Joe Brady has done when he started taking over those calls in 2023. With his final 7 games last year, Cook went around 4 for 32 on average in the air through the regular season. So Cook is going to get close to that 30-yard range most weeks, and we have a 10-yard discount at that point. So I feel like this is a good place for us to start. James Cook higher than 19.5 receiving yards. Pick number 2, we're going to go Tyreek Hill lower than 97.5 receiving yards. There's 2 players I hate betting on or against. It's Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey, because they do the opposite of what I want them to do every single time. We're going Hill lower than 97.5 receiving yards. We're going to try and justify it. Why? Look, he had an incredible Sunday last week, didn't he? My God, what a way to start your Sunday morning. Some people wake up, walk the dog. No, Tyreek Hill gets slammed on the ground and put in handcuffs. That's not going to happen this week, I hope. Who knows? But anyway, from what it might be, he had a relatively weird day. He had that big 80-yard play, that touchdown that kind of saved his day, padded his stats a fair bit. He didn't really get anywhere in between there. But look, the truth is he somewhat struggles, and struggles is a very big quote for him. He does really well against everyone, and he has some success against the Bills. But for what it is, he struggles versus the Bills as a Dolphin. Look, in the 5 appearances he's had versus them, he's only gone over 80 yards 1 time. He sits in and around that 6 for 62 span on average, which, for Hill, all that takes is for one of those receptions to go 20, 30 yards longer, and it blows everything out of the water. But for what it's worth, that doesn't really happen. We have a short week and a 30-yard buffer on a proposed total. We know with his averages around 6 for 62 against them, and he's never hit that quota before. So he's never hit 97.5 against the Bills. All of a sudden, we've got 30 yards from his average, and he had maybe a bit of a patchy week last week. I feel like I'm going to take the unders. We're going to go lower for Tyreek Hill, lower than 97.5 receiving yards. So look, pick number 3, we are going to go Josh Allen. And, we have to get a Josh Allen prop in there, don't we? We have to do that. Not what we want, though. We're going to go Josh Allen over or higher than 1.5 sacks. He's going to get hit a few times this week, I think. Look, Allen seems to get hit a lot against Miami. And I know that, we can say that because they play each other a few times a year, and I get that. It's, a frequent matchup. But he's had 18 sacks in his last 5 outings versus the Dolphins, 12 in his last 3. So he's getting hit frequently. Now, we could say, okay, maybe it's towards the end of the season, and maybe, an O-lineman or 2 has been hit and they're out, and, maybe we can say all those sorts of things. I get it. But 12 in his last 3, 18 and 5, that's a lot. And we don't really need to say, okay, well, he's only going to hit maybe sacked once. He's getting maybe 2 to 3 times the amount of that. And That's good for us as bettors, right? So again, we're talking about buffers. We know there's a good chance at 3 on the cards. 2 should be a good bet. So can he get sacked twice? I feel like he can. He got hit twice versus Arizona this week, and they're a little bit of a different pass rush team. I don't think they're as potent as what Miami are, but it is what it is in that regard. Being the short week, how many corrections can the Bills make going from that passing game that was absolutely abysmal? He completed 5 passes by halftime. So the idea that, he's going to try and open it up, maybe not. So I don't think they can correct too much in a short period of time while on the road to Miami. The pass game is non-existent. I can see them fix it. Can't see them fixing that in 2.5 days. Dolphins had a decent week against the Jaguars. Again, they connected 3 times on Trevor Lawrence. Jordan Phillips standing out. Welcome back from his end of season in 2023. I think he tore his Achilles. I think Ogba and Calais Campbell also got home as well. So the 3 of them got sacks against the Jaguars. So it's not just one guy they're relying on. It can come in multiple directions. I could see Zach Sealer going up the middle and getting one this week as well. So I feel like the Dolphins have many ways of getting through to Josh Allen this week. Does take his time a little bit, does get hit behind the line a little too frequent for me, as it would be. We're going to go over that one more time. So we've got 3 props going for Thursday Night Football. We're going to go Bills at Dolphins. James Cook higher than 19.5 receiving yards. Pick number 2, Tyreek Hill lower than 97.5 receiving yards. And pick number 3, Josh Allen over 1.5 sacks this week. Thank you very much for staying with me. As always, underdogfantasy.com. Promo code GF2 for 100% matching deposit up to 250 big ones. Stay tuned for, in no particular order, Gladys is on next. I hope you have a great Thursday. Have a great week. Safe bets, happy punts. Cheers.